What is up, Midway Mayhem fans? This is Dan in again. We are checking in from the Universal Orlando Resort for another Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift roller coaster construction update here in Orlando. And hopefully there has been a lot of progress. There's a lot to see and do. Let's go. Movie theater area. And they're showing off the summer movie series. So some of the more popular movies that Universal has had, they're playing them here. Different dates, times, and the prices are actually pretty cheap too. Split Point, Islands to the left, and Studios to the right. And in fact, Studios is the only place we're going to today. We don't really have the time to head over to Islands, but we're going to check up on Fast and Furious. Alright, there's Fast and Furious. We can see the spike, more track, and a giant support column structure. And there's some of the new track that's been added to the high-speed turn. We can see also a couple of the columns at the base, right really low to the ground, have not been added for some reason. And we still have the top of the spike pieces laying on the ground over there. They've got to be doing something special with this. Alright, so a different angle here we can see where they left off the track right there on the high-speed turn. More has been added on that side heading up. And that area is going to go right over where we believe is a mid-course brake run. And then we can see way in the back area where the final brake run is in place now with track. There's Studios. Still not painted here on the archway. Again, we're expecting that to take place very soon. Fast and Furious over there, looking good. Love that the new columns sticking up over the trees. We're gonna head over to Hard Rock before Studios, so that's next up. Another look at the non-completed spike. And of course it is going to be twisting on the way up, and they have not put the top pieces on. They've been on site for about a week now, and we're thinking that it's going to be tied to some ceremony of some sorts. I'm not sure, and I also am not sure if this is also the tallest portion of the ride. I mean, think, it's coming off a spike. It's going to have a launch after that. There's got to be a pretty big element, right? Unless it's taken at extremely high speed at a low height. I don't know. We'll see. Almost to Hard Rock, and the Beatles are playing. Yeah, it's going to be a good day. And there we go. Some better views from Hard Rock of all of the new work. Time to go up the stairs, get an awesome view of everything. All right, let's check out what we're seeing here from the top. We've mentioned it in previous updates, but these columns are going pretty much in a straight line from right here over to this direction, and there's going to be some sort of really tall element right here. Possibly a top hat or a stall element like what we've seen on Velocicoaster. There's a really tight turn right here with a clearance envelope. I don't know, that is stupid crazy close to the powerhouse over here. And then we have the new columns that have been put in place over here, and that's at a really crazy steep angle, so it looks like it's coming out of almost an inversion. And I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but kind of looks like it. We have the end piece over here off of the high-speed turn, and it goes up, and I could easily see a corkscrew and then come down really, really fast right over here into another big element right in this area, possibly a dive loop or an Immelman, we'll see. But yeah, it's looking really good, but I'm thinking possibly big inversion over here. There are foundations in a straight line over here that goes over the top of the powerhouse. So maybe that is a mid-course brake run before heading into the launch and spike area. Looks good though. A little bit closer view of the high-speed turn over here and some of the columns. We see this one right here that was installed last week, and the new one right here that was installed last night. And if we're kind of following the direction of travel here, it looks like this could even do a corkscrew element, come down right over here really low to the ground and go off and do another element. Or it could be an S-turn where it goes up, kind of does a bunny hop, and then comes back down like that. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping for the corkscrew. And we also have some deliveries of new supports on the ground right there, right there, and right there. And that one is kind of interesting because it has a top connection piece where the track will connect over here. And right there, it's a little bit longer than, say, some of the other points that are here, here, and here. And I'm thinking that is kind of an extension to get the track away from the column a little bit more if you're doing an inversion or some sort of crazy element right there. Something else to note over here, since pretty much all the work is done minus topping off the spike, they're clearing out a lot of the dirt in this area to eventually get it ready for final preparations of theming, landscaping, fencing, things like that. But it's going to be a long time, but they're at least pushing dirt over here away. So that leads me to wonder, once these walls are down and we're closer to opening, what's all going to happen right here? Is this going to be a walking area? Can you get really close to the spike or over here to the high-speed turn like what we had with Rocket in the past? I mean, Rocket was right next to the fence line. I'm hoping they can allow some of the same views and closeness over here. Way too many questions and not enough answers right now when it comes to layout. But we can see again the direction of travel coming off of this. If it is a corkscrew, it's going to be amazing. Really tall element right here. If it's an S-bend, it's going to be kicking you out of your seat like what you find on Velocicoaster during the second half before that Mosasaurus roll. Or the other option, if you see right here, there are some foundations on the ground leading this direction. Could do a giant overbank turn kind of right here and then head back down that way. One thing I would definitely put money on is that there are going to be inversions over here. At least one, maybe two, and fingers crossed for a third. That would be awesome. And that's going to do it pretty much from our views over here from Hard Rock. We mentioned over here that anchor bolt cage. It's not being used, and there's some areas, big gaps between some of the columns that I think they're going to make more foundations once most of this work is done. So yeah, I don't think all of the foundations are complete over here, but I'd say like 99%. All right, now we have made it over to Studios. Guest services line. Well, there's no line. Ticket windows though, have about maybe a 5-10 minute wait. And I can see the turnstiles over here. Right side is not open, but the left is. Yep, like usual, no wait to get through, and we are on our way. Currently somewhere in the mid 90s. Florida summer, it's hot. There's been rain. It's gonna be like that almost every day here on out, all the way until pretty much October. Wait time sign over there saying park is open until 9 o'clock. Most all the attractions that I see have either a 5 to maybe 20 minute wait, so not bad. Mini Mayhem over here, we can see at 35, good indication, not too busy at the park today. Concert venue area, and all the work that's been going on for Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift over there. We'll see it in just a second. So yeah, we have the spike peeking up over the wall, that new really tall support column right there as well, and then the track leading off of the high-speed turn. New York area of the park, and I can already see some interesting developments. We have yet another crane on site right there, and it's taking apart the big yellow one right here. So the yellow one had a massive extension to it, and it's getting disassembled, maybe to move to another location, or they're possibly done with it. Work walls over here, and we showed you in the last update, they've updated with photos of the ride vehicles. So there's 4 different ones. We have the Charger, we have the Supra, and some other ones. There's a better look at the crane, disassembled. So it appears very soon the big crane is going to be gone or moved, and we're going to get unrestricted views of the station and maintenance barn area. Not seeing any new siding on the station area here. It's going to get extended down over this way. And we're thinking that it may actually get extended even further, so I don't think that's going to be the very end of the station. We have seen some photos recently showing off the direction of travel for the station. We have 2 loading areas, one over here and one over there. It's going to head out that direction, make a right, and there's a long straight piece of track that will then head over to this building, the maintenance barn. Now see how there's a little tiny piece of the building right there, a little shorter? That has a transfer table that'll slide over to the different bays for the maintenance barn. Now, the big question is, will the ride vehicle pull into that little small building area for a pre-show and possibly spin the vehicles, do something before launching out that direction? Or is it going to stop short before the building, do something, and then launch out that direction? But possibly could be heading inside there. Now, as far as this building, we think it's going to be extended out. The brake run comes in this direction right over here, and it heads into the building, and there's actually some covering, and it's going to extend over that way and fully cover the track. So I'm thinking a good amount of this whole switch and all that, that's all going to be enclosed. So yeah, looking good over here. Again, brake run comes in right at the end of that building that we can see right there. I think it's going to be extended out, but there could be a show scene of some sort as you're heading in, being like, "Dom, family, thanks for being family," before heading finally into the station. We'll see. And that's going to do it for our look at Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift here in the station and maintenance barn area. That big crane going bye-bye, or getting relocated to another part of the site. We're going to check out a couple of things here at the park. Lighting is up for Halloween Horror Nights here on the top of the buildings. And there's going to be a lot more of it. Scaffolding over by Finnegan's. That's new. So yeah, good portion of this building is now wrapped up all the way to the top. And we have new work walls over here as well. So lots of progress for Finnegan's going on right now. Hello, pigeon. Scaffolding is still up for the Ghirardelli Tower. Hopefully that work is going to be completed soon. For those of you wondering, yes, the Trojan horse is still over there, and from what we can see, work walls are down now. And here's the photo opportunity spot. Still have some barricades up around it, but very soon you'll be able to get a nice up-close shot of the Trojan horse. Again, this is promoting the Odyssey, coming out in theaters soon. And just to give you an idea how big it is, these people right here, yeah, that's a pretty big, tall horse. Last week we showed you this pathway area was getting a lot of lighting trusses, and well, now lighting is up on the trusses. Yay! Marilyn and the gals are out. Gotta love those new columns rising up. Well guys, that's going to do it for our video for Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift roller coaster construction. Exciting stuff as a bunch of new columns have been put in place. And of course we're hoping the spike is going to be topped out pretty soon. Still thinking they're going to do some sort of major announcement or some sort of ceremony for it before it gets in place. But they have a lot of stuff to work on in the meantime. I know I said in the last update the crew seemed like they were going a little bit slow, only putting like 2 pieces of track per night. But they're making progress in other areas, and I didn't see that till towards the very end of the other video that we had. They are going fast, and they got to get a lot of this done before August, which is when Halloween Horror Nights is. They're going to have guests walking underneath it, so a lot of work has to be done, and we're going to be here to cover it. I do want to point out, though, I do work, okay? So I travel a lot for work, and I'm gone for weeks at a time, so I'm hoping that I'll have plenty of updates as far as frequency, like every day, every other day, or something like that. But there will be times where I have to, well, go work and whatnot. But we will have plenty of updates to keep you satisfied for Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. So if you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and the website formerly known as Twitter at Midway Mayhem. And I will see you out on the Midway.